Can you imagine falling so far that you're sleeping under a bridge? And then being blamed for a crime you didn't commit, just because someone powerful tripped over you? That's exactly what happened to Raymond Carter. A man with nothing left, who was just trying to stay warm on a cold morning, until a stranger stepped on his neck, screamed for security, and almost ruined what little life he had left. But what that stranger didn't know was who Raymond used to be, or the storm of truth about to turn both of their lives upside down. And what happened next? No one saw it coming. It was 5:13 a.m. The streets of downtown Chicago were still asleep under a thin mist. Car horns hadn't started yet, but the rumble of a delivery truck echoed beneath the Michigan Avenue Bridge. That's where Raymond Carter lay, in cardboard, wrapped in an old army sleeping bag. Cold, hungry, and invisible. He was 52 years old, beard scruffy, face hollow, and if you'd passed him, you'd never have guessed who he once was. A decade ago, Raymond had been a math teacher. Good one. Beloved by students, respected by staff. He was the kind of guy who stayed after class just to tutor kids who couldn't afford private help. But one December night, a drunk driver ran a red light and ended his wife and son's lives. In a single moment, his world collapsed. He tried to go back to work, but the grief swallowed him. His classroom turned into a room full of ghosts. He quit, drifted, lost his house, then lost himself. And now he lived under a bridge. Not because he was lazy, but because life had shown him no mercy, and no one had shown him kindness in a very long time. That morning Raymond heard footsteps. He was half asleep when a sharp, heavy shoe came down hard, right on the back of his neck. "Ack!" he gasped, rolling onto his side. "What the hell?" a voice snapped. Raymond blinked up. A man in a tailored coat and polished shoes stood over him, fuming. A coffee cup had spilled, staining his slacks. "You homeless freak," the man barked. "You're not supposed to be here." Raymond tried to sit up. I was just sleeping. I didn't mean." "Don't talk to me," the man yelled, pulling out his phone. "Security. There's some vagrant under the bridge near Wacker. Think he attacked me. Send someone now." Raymond's heart dropped. "No sir, please. I didn't touch you." But the man had already stormed off, mumbling, "My meeting's in 15 minutes. Raymond didn't even know who he was. Not yet. Security arrived fast. Within 10 minutes, Raymond was being shoved into the back of a patrol car, cuffed and confused. He tried to explain, but no one listened. They took him to a holding center, charged with assault, vagrancy, disturbing the peace. It wasn't until his hearing 3 days later that he saw the man again, sitting in the front row of the courtroom, adjusting his Rolex. Benjamin Thorne, CEO of Thorntech, one of Chicago's youngest self-made millionaires. Known for his arrogance, feared by many, praised by Forbes. He'd claimed Raymond had lunged at him, tried to tackle him, called it a violent ambush. Raymond's public defender barely spoke. No witnesses, no video footage, no one to vouch for him. The judge looked ready to throw the book. And then, something extraordinary happened. A young woman stood up from the gallery, hands trembling, eyes locked on Raymond. "Your Honor," she said. I have video footage. I was filming that morning. I saw everything." Her name was Natalie, a barista on her way to her morning shift at the corner cafe. She often recorded quiet sunrise footage for her TikTok followers. She'd filmed the exact moment Benjamin Thorne stepped on Raymond, and falsely accused him. The court went silent as the footage played. There was Raymond, curled up, harmless, ill. There was Benjamin tripping, spilling his coffee, shouting, lying. Within seconds the charges were dropped. But Raymond didn't feel free. Not yet. Because humiliation doesn't just vanish. And 3 days in a cell, cold and afraid. That leaves scars. As the courtroom emptied, Natalie approached him. "I'm sorry you went through that," she said softly. Raymond blinked at her. "Thank you. I didn't think anyone still cared. She smiled and handed him something. Card. The cafe down the street. Come in tomorrow. I'll get you breakfast. No catch. You look like you could use a friend. Raymond showed up the next morning. It wasn't just the eggs or the warm coffee that hit him. It was the way the staff treated him. Like a human. He sat in a booth by the window. Natalie slid into the seat across from him. So, what did you do before all this? Raymond hesitated. I was a teacher. Math. Her eyes widened. Really? My little brother's failing algebra. Would you? He chuckled for the first time in months. I'd be honored. That was the second act of kindness. Natalie brought her brother the next week. Then another student. Then another. Raymond began tutoring kids from the cafe. Word spread. Parents started showing up with envelopes of thank you cash, even though he never asked. Natalie helped him print a new resume. One night she handed him an old blazer and said, "You've got an interview tomorrow. Principal Mendez wants to meet you." Raymond's interview was short and shocking. Principal Mendez looked at his resume, paused, then whispered, "You taught at Langston Middle 10 years ago?" "Yes, ma'am. You were my math teacher." Raymond blinked. "I was a nightmare student," she said with a smile. "You stayed after school every day until I passed. I wouldn't be here without you." Her eyes misted. "And now, I get to return the favor. Welcome back, Mr. Carter." Raymond couldn't speak. Just nodded, tears running silently down his cheeks. The classroom smelled like fresh expo markers when he walked in that Monday morning. And 26 sixth graders stared up at him. For the first time in a decade, he felt like Raymond again. A month later, Benjamin Thorne walked into that same cafe. The cafe Natalie worked at. The one Raymond now came to after school. Benjamin froze when he saw him. "I didn't know you worked here," he muttered. "I don't," Raymond replied calmly. "I teach again. Thanks to people who saw the truth." Benjamin swallowed hard. "I didn't know who you were," he said. "You didn't care who I was," Raymond corrected. "You stepped on a neck, not knowing who it belonged to. But it shouldn't matter who." There was silence. Natalie walked over, offering Benjamin a coffee. "On the house," she said. "Maybe take a moment to sit. And listen." And for the first time in a long time, Benjamin Thorne sat down and did just that. Weeks later, Benjamin quietly donated $100,000 to a local program for homeless veterans. No press, no social media. But Raymond knew. Because the check was made in his name. Sometimes kindness comes from unexpected places. And sometimes redemption begins with a mistake, followed by a choice. Raymond now runs a free tutoring program at the cafe on weekends. Natalie manages the place and says the mornings smell better since kindness became the house special. And Benjamin, well, he hasn't stepped on another neck since. Not literally, not figuratively. Because he finally learned, everyone you meet is fighting a battle you can't see. And sometimes, the best thing you can do is stop and see them. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that kindness matters, hit that like button. Leave a comment telling us the last time someone surprised you with kindness. And if you want more emotional, true-to-life stories like this one, make sure you're subscribed with notifications on. Because next time, you won't believe who that janitor used to be.